Cracked in under 60 seconds. I'm Steve Gibson with Gibson Research Corporation. Today on The Lab with Leo, we're going to talk about how badly web encryption has just been broken.
Good to see you. Welcome. It's time for The Lab, the show where we explain how technology... I didn't mean to scare you. I've been reading the Jerry Lewis biography. I get a little crazy. How technology works in your home, at work, at play, at church, at school, everywhere you go. It's technology nowadays. Ladies and gentlemen, everywhere I go, this woman seems to be following me. It's Kate Abraham. This is episode 46. It says so on the red clipboard. And look who's here, Steve Gibson. Cool. Papa Security. He's going to talk all about cracking Wi-Fi, as he told you. Rick Yeager is also here from Mac Merc, trimming the fat on your Mac hard drive. And Bill McEwen, who's going to talk about alternative workplaces. Mm-hmm. I kind of have an alternative workplace. I work in at home in California at a bed and breakfast. In fact, every once in a while, well, it's now converted to offices. And so it's a beautiful little old Victorian. Okay. I'm in a kind of a garret, the attic up there. And every once in a while, somebody will say to me, my mother stayed there a couple of years ago, and it's my office now, baby. So I'm not, I've been very cool, I've been very calm, but I see a fork and napkin here, and I'm a little worried that there might be some food stuff involved.
Yeah, well, no Andy Walker style food stuff, but we spoke last month about custard and English desserts, and you were like horrified by it.
Yes, and I am still. Oh no. What is this? Okay, is this a typical English pudding?
It should be apple, but this is rhubarb and strawberry pie.
And that's
that's
custard.
Ambrosia custard.
Like Ambrosia?
Devon custard.
Mm.
So by the end of the show...
Should I try it?
Oh, you can try it now if you like.
I just want to show you, though, before we get all excited about the Devon custard, the Devon custard can.
I would have homemade it for you, but I didn't have time. But that's that's a huge label in England.
This is it? This is the one?
Stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
That's Devon custard.
Creme patisserie. It actually smells quite good.
It's actually really sweet as well, so it's...
I just want to see what the nutrition value is.
Yeah, I wouldn't be looking at that.
No, I better not look at that. All right, good. Well, pie today on The Lab with Leo.
English pie.
I've got a lot. Wait a minute. I need a crate to carry all my stuff. Thank you. That's very nice. I'm enjoying that. That's going to be very good. Go well with my cup of vodka. Do we have a caller on the...
Free English vodka. We do have a caller. Our first caller is Rick from Edmonton in Alberta.
Thank you so much, Kate. That'll be fun. I can't wait to taste that. Rick from Edmonton. Yes. Hello, Rick.
Hi, Leo. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm excellent, thanks.
And what can I do for you today?
Well, I had a question about web browsers. I have an older computer. It's an Extreme. It's like a Celeron, about 4 or 5 years old.
Okay.
And I've been watching you for years, so I know not to use IE7 or anything like that. I use Firefox.
Okay.
And it runs kind of slow. So a little while ago, I tried this Opera 9.2.
Yes.
I don't know anything about Opera, and I was just wondering how secure is Opera.
I like Opera quite a bit. Now, first of all, I should say, when I was talking about not using IE, that was really IE6. IE7 is considerably better. It still has this basic problem, which is that ActiveX scripts are permitted through Internet Explorer. But IE7, at least, is not going to just launch those scripts automatically. You'll get that yellow bar that says if the website is trying to run a program, is it okay? And that single change makes a huge difference. That was the thing that really concerned me about IE7. In a second, I'll ask Steve Gibson because he's an Internet Explorer user. But let's talk a little bit about Opera, because I think I should be talking about Opera more often. I think it's an excellent browser. We talk about Firefox a lot, and the reason we talk about Firefox as an alternative to IE6 is because it doesn't support ActiveX at all. So at least that form of scripting is disabled. There are other forms of scripting, and Steve's, I'm sure, going to say, well, scripting's bad. I don't have internet access on here, Sean, so it's something you might want to check. So I can't show you Opera. Let me see. It might just be the Windows thing. Let me go over to the Mac side and see if that's okay here. Opera is opera.com. Nope. It's a Norwegian company, and it makes an excellent browser. You want to get under there? I'll give you a piece of pie.
Oh, I'd love to.
And some delicious Devon custard. I've got a whole can.
There we go.
All right, thank you. My wire fell out. So now let's go to opera.com. It's very fast. I think you probably noticed that, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. It is free, which is nice. They used to put advertising in it. They don't do that anymore. Has some really nice features. In fact, this was the first browser to put in tabbed windows. They do tabs a little differently, but hey, they're tabs, which is pretty cool. Opera, many people use on their phones. I use it on my phone. They've really pushed that side of their business quite a bit. It is available for Windows and Mac. You notice I'm doing it on a Mac, so it noticed that, and it's giving me the Mac version, but it looks pretty much the same. I would say the reasons that I like Firefox are the same reasons I would like Opera. And I have to say IE7 is less of a problem. But now, Steve, are you mic'd? Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Let's get Steve Gibson's opinion on all this, because you still use Internet Explorer, but you do something that I don't think most people are going to want to do, which is you basically lock it down.
Yeah, the IE has a nice feature where they have this notion of zones, where you're able to tighten the security on your internet zone, the so-called internet zone, so that nothing will run.
Right.
Then you can put specific sites that you trust, like Amazon and eBay and so forth, sites that you put them in your so-called trusted zone, where you have different security settings for that zone. So
also, this new Internet Explorer protected mode makes it much safer. Is that available in XP, or is it only in Vista? I think it's
only in Vista.
It's only in Vista? Oh,
yeah.
shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me this is what he's talking about.
It takes advantage of the new Vista features.
Yeah. Yeah. The protected mode, actually, I think then makes it as safe as anything else. In fact, maybe even more so. The thing that Steve doesn't like, among other things, is not just ActiveScript. He doesn't like JavaScript and the other scripting. So what he does is he selects the internet zone and turns the security level all the way up, which means basically no site works now.
Well, then I go in and turn off additional things.
I'll show you that. So let's go to our site. I'm just curious, see if our site works at all. It may or may not. Oh, yeah, it works pretty. Hey, look at that. We're a good site. But there are quite a few sites that won't work. If I go to google.com/IG, I think because there's quite a bit of JavaScript on there, it might complain.
The danger is if you just wander around the internet, if you're someone who just goes and clicks on any link, you're going to sites you don't know,
right?
And scripting says to the remote site, send some code, and I'm going to run it on my browser client
on the local machine, which that's dangerous, right? So he's got the internet zone set to high. Now you see, there's another zone, trusted sites, and what do you set the level for on trusted sites? Probably low, right?
Probably low, because
that means I trust you, so you can do anything you want.
Or I think I'll set it to the same level that Microsoft normally sets the
medium.
internet to.
Yeah, that's
I think
medium.
Is there a medium high or a medium low? They put some extra levels in there now.
Yeah. So I will now, let's say medium high, or let's say medium. I mean, you trust these guys. Now you click sites, and you can add sites. So you see I'm on google.com. It knew that. I'm going to click add, and that's going to, you have to uncheck this require server verification.
Yes, you do. I don't know what that thing is. It's always in the way.
They put that there saying, well, you really shouldn't trust this site unless it's HTTPS. That's not so. So we're going to add that. So now Google has full permission, but every other site is still kind of blocked off. And so the drawback, and the reason most people don't do this, is as you surf, it's a pain in the butt. You have to slowly add sites. Notice this thing, for instance, didn't load, this Jaiku beta. A lot of this didn't load because it uses JavaScript. So there's all these white spaces on my page. It will now because I've given permission to Google to do that. So that's a way to lock down IE7. But in answer to your question, Rick, I think Opera is an excellent browser, and nothing wrong with that. No. Although it doesn't, in fact, give you now those security features. Actually, does it or not? Those are internet options.
You could argue that it doesn't need them as much as IE does. So IE had to add them to protect itself from its bad history.
Right. I would say you're not going to. The one drawback to Opera is not all pages will work with Opera. It's pretty compliant, but not everything will work with Opera. That's not such a big deal. You're going to keep Internet Explorer around anyway. So I'd say use Opera. Use Firefox, use Internet Explorer, use the right tool for the right job. But day-to-day surfing with Opera, absolutely, Rick. I think it's a great idea. And if you like it, I know there are a lot of adherents who just swear by Opera. So go ahead and use it.
Yeah, I just noticed that it is a faster browser, and that's why I was wondering with an older machine. I want to make sure it was secure before I started.
Yeah, it's as secure as any browser. All browsers are fundamentally insecure because they allow websites to run programs, as Steve says, on your system. So ultimately what you have to do is say, you can't run JavaScript, you can't run these programs unless I say so. Now, that breaks a lot of the websites. So Steve